Hello, welcome to my video. Today I'm going to talk about what my current struggles are and how I'm planning or managing right now to overcome them. So basically, let's take it back some years ago. I was like 11, 12 years old and my parents did give me only Fanta to drink. So I basically was so basically I developed over the years some really bad eating habits patterns. So when I was 17, I decided to finally conquer this by reading a book called Checklist. Once I read it, I was, yeah, I can conquer everything and anything, and I was like, okay, now I won't even consider doing it because I read this book, but this was somewhat bullshit because those patterns were so integrated into my body, into my brain, into my nervous system. I needed to find another way. So I searched, I studied. And the one thing that sticked at the end was NLP. Not profoundly NLP, s- not specifically NLP, but those those strategies and tactics they teach in NLP are one of the greatest things I have done to hack my brain. So what is NLP? NLP is neuro linguistic programming. It's like programming, but programming your mind. So what did I do to free myself of sugar sorry of those factors, and why is it important of being a leader to do this? First of all, it's really important to go first, to lead by example, because when someone is when you're when your dentist is telling you how to brush your teeth, that they are stay white and they don't have any holes, and you look at him, he smiles, and you see that he has ugly teeth and even uglier colored teeth, you think like, yeah man, I will visit you again. So when you want to lead as a person in like a healthcare environment, you need to go first because leaders go first, and we take the steps we, that bring us two steps forward and one step back at a time. We make the progress, we lay the foundation for our fellow folks to help, to go our same path, but without the same challenges and bumps we had on our way. So the question is, okay, once I get it, yeah, I really get it. It's really important to lead by example. But what example do I really give when I conquer this addiction called sugar, called sweets, called pure white and deadly? I can highly recommend a TED Talk from Robert H. Lustig. He talks about sugar, and he wrote maybe like 3 books about it, and they are really eye-opening. So what he basically says is that biologically seen, fruit sugar and glucose, they are not the same. So the question is, what is what is the better or what is worse sugar? Most of us will think, hey, it's glucose, but no, it's fructose. It's because biologically seen, if you consume fructose in your liver, it's treated like alcohol. So if you want to get rid of one type of sugar, you probably should get rid of fructose. But not, absolutely not. Don't, please don't. This is one mistake I really did. I stopped eating fruits because, oh, they can contain so much fruit sugar. Yeah, dump. But they also contain so much minerals, so much vitamins, so much things we can't even digest today, and in such a complex way and so ideal for a body that those are digested in a healthy way. So, what principles do I need to do I need to accomplish to integrate in my system that I can really say you should eat this and you can't eat this? I was like, first of all, I was on keto diet. Then I said, okay, only flesh. Only then I said, okay, I'm trying out vegetarian lifestyle. I tried out vegan lifestyle, and the list goes on with all these lifestyles and eating patterns or eating habits. What's the core function of all these same samely qualified people that tell you what to eat, what you should eat and what you shouldn't eat, is one thing: vibrant and healthy food. And what's the principle behind it? The principle is this is the awesome part about principles, first of all. Before I tell you the principle, because I want to keep you hot. The awesome part about principles is that those are never changing and everlasting. One principle is that gravitation is there to keep you on the ground. This is a principle, a law of life. Another law of life is sow the seeds, water them, and you will reap probably if there's no storm. So what's this principle about? This principle was really eye-opening for me, and I don't want to falter you any longer before I tell it, but it's so awesome. This principle is, if you want to be alive, eat alive food. You say, duh? It's common sense. Everyone should know it. Yes. But if it's common sense, why is it that not everyone follows through on this principle? Basically, there are a few things that occur in addiction. One thing is our 6 human needs. I don't want to talk about them right now. You can read articles about. I would most probably take another video about this specific topic, but most likely you will know Tony Robbins or you will have heard of him. He's the one that discovered those needs in our human psyche. And those needs are basically certainty, uncertainty, significance, love, growth, and contribution. We all want to fulfill all 6 of them at a time. And once an pattern, an habit, or something we do fulfills more than three of these needs, when do I feel certain if I drink alcohol? Absolutely. Do I feel significant if I drink alcohol? Hey, I'm the one that drinks the most. And do I feel uncertain? Oh yeah, because no one knows what's gonna happen when we're all drunk. One time, one time when we were drank with my friends, I we just went out on the streets and stole some street signs, and it's like nothing can happen. Do I do I gain love? Hey, yeah, most girls are more easy to have, I would say, if they're drunk. Oh, those are exactly four needs. Do I contribute? Do I grow? Maybe I grow because I grow in my alcohol consumption and I link this up with alcohol. I can drink more and more and more. And maybe I contribute because I think that when I'm drinking alcohol, I get calmer or relaxer and can help much more my fellow folks. So we need to first consider that those drugs, those highly addictive doing things that change our whole biochemistry are also fulfilling our needs like instantly. So this is the most dangerous factor. What what's also a factor, what's the basis behind all of this? It's like Nietzsche said, the one who has have a strong enough reason why can be almost anyhow. Is your why stronger for eating sugar, for eating those brownies, those cookies, those chips, those sweets? Is it stronger than your why of eating a healthy, vibrant diet, like continuously? So we human beings do two things. We either want to avoid pain or gain pleasure. So how contains of both of them, pain and pleasure. Is it painful to eat some specific vegetables, or is it pleasureful? What is more pleasureful? And let me give you one tip. We human beings do more than to avoid pain than we will ever to gain pleasure. Think about it. If I offer you $10,000, you will wait. Think about it. If I say to you, you have two options. You either can beschützen. What means beschützen? You can either defend your $10,000, or you have nothing and you have the possibility to gain in a year $10,000. What would you consider? It's obviously I would defend direct my $10,000 because I earned them. Oh, so we want. So the first thing, or the most basic thing, is we want to avoid the pain. This is much more clearer to us, to avoid the pain of losing something than to gain the potential pleasure of gaining something. So what I'm doing right now to conquer this, and it's like a long journey, and I finally came to an end today, because today I was like in a supermarket. I thought like, yeah, I'm going to buy some juicy, some great food, so I could have delicious taste in my mouth because this is something everyone likes. And I went there and I first got to the chips. I looked at them and I was like, nah, I don't want them. This is what I did. I then went to the sweets like chocolate and those Haribo Gummibärchen, if you know them from Germany, or even if they exist in other areas. I don't know right now. And this is the awesome part. I looked at them and I was like, no. Then I went to the cookie section and I was like, nah, I don't want them. Finally, I decided to eat some Joghurt mit der Ecke. Let me take it. Out of all my options I had, I chose out of desperation this thing because I did something with NLP that I don't want to have this yogurt anymore. What did I do now? Yeah, I explained it a lot, but I want you to really get it that this tool helps not when you're euphoric when you first start something new. You're getting really euphoric about it, and it's like easy as it can be. But like going to the gym, the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 days are like easy as hell, but then the law of familiarity kicks in. I don't get so excited about it, and I really don't want to, and I search for some things that I can avoid going to the gym. And 3 month, 3 weeks later, I don't even go to the gym anymore. I don't even consider it. Why does this happen? Because when we're in a negative emotional state, our old patterns or old habits, those that are integrated in our being, show up once again. So today I was really frustrated because I opened my briefcase and I saw a mail from my chef, and I was fired, and I was so fucked up and so devastated. I was like, okay, is this the end or is this the beginning? I'm s- and once you hear such a message like, no, I don't want you anymore, no, this is not good enough, and so on, you get really pissed off, and you want to you just want to rip these people apart. They say such harsh things. And because of this, I decided to go to this supermarket to buy some food, because food is really great in changing what you feel, to change your biochemistry, like I said again, like what sugar does. So I went there, and before I went there, I knew that this is a really, really harmful state to be in. So I said, okay, calm down, like instant, because I have some tactics there. Those I don't want to share right now, because this would also be way too long to explain. This is something I can hold for the next video. So what are those tactics? What are those things I did that once I was so furious, so frustrated with it, I didn't grab to my normal foods, to those sweets, to those chips, and I didn't even wanted them. This is the exciting part. If you need to have discipline not to eat some certain food that you clearly know that are not good for you, it's as hard as it can be. But once you notice and once you get that those once you transform your brain that it links up, hey, this eating this means much more pain than pleasure, you're free. So this is what I'm doing right now. Like every time I go to the supermarket, I go through those chips areas, those and so on, durch these whole areas with chips, sweets, and so on, and I look at everything, and I create sensory acuity about, is it triggering me? And when I'm there, it's like, no, it's not triggering. Oh, awesome. Then I can go to the next food. And every time I did it, it's like the 20th food I didn't even knew. This was something I ate in my childhood. So I didn't knew that I had this craving about it, because all these other cravings about these other foods that are much more stronger and addictive laid upon it. So once I unfolded those and said, I don't want them anymore, I did this tool I want to share you later. I became aware that I wanted this, and I ate it and was like, nah. So the next thing I do is using this tool on this specific yogurt, because it's not clearly not good for me. So what did I do? There are several ways to conquer this, because I'm doing it in, like, for the past few years, and practice it over again. I want to give you the shortcut. What I'm doing is so basic, so simple, but no one ever did it. I There are three options you basically have. You can either avoid the food, or conquer it, or you can scratch it. I'd like to use those last two parts most of the time, because when I avoid something, it's just only not there, and once I'm having it right in front of my face, I eat it. So when I conquer it and avoid and scratch it, this is, I think, the real power. S- I imagine, or I have it before me, the packaging and everything, and I imagine what what this will do to me, what consequences I will face when I still eat it longer and longer and longer, and I'm getting fat. Somehow I don't feel so well in my body. I feel fat. I have much less energy. I lose the love of my life, because she doesn't want someone who has not even such simple things under control. This is what I say to myself. And I think once you get through here and heard my story, you're much likely to have the same understanding about it. So basically, what's the most painful thing I'm associating with food, with eating, is to actually puking. I imagine, like, every time look at it, I puke. I look at it, I puke, and I rehearse this over and over again until I really physically must puke once I stand in front of this specific food I want to get rid of in my nervous system. And I do it so much, it's like 20, 30 times. Do it 5 times, and if you did it intensely enough and you really felt like you had to puke, or you had to do this devastating stuff you think is really there to disgust you, that will link up to this food, you can do everything you want. but it has to be really, really associated. And then shake your body up, shake your body, like loosen up, and then think about the food. If you're getting some crumbling, some I can't even think about it good anymore. This is a great sign that it worked. When you have neutral feelings or positive feelings still, you need to rehearse it over and over again. So this is the simple and basic thing what I did. But like an old Chinese saying says, tell me and I forget. Show me and I remember. But do it with me and I will understand. So I want to give you a challenge. You most probably have one of these foods you really need to get rid of in your house, or if you don't, go drive to the next supermarket and buy some of it. And I want you to use this tool. I have a free download that shows it shows again those steps you can and should do. And yeah, this was it for today. I really thank and appreciate your time, your energy, and I'm really looking forward to hear from you in the comments down below if you did it and when you did it, what it affected you, and much more importantly, how long it lasts. Because I did this once with something else. What was it? What was it? It were hmm, no. I can't. Sorry, I can't remember the specific food. But let's say I did it to this yogurt. And someday I'm going to the supermarket and see this yogurt. I'm get, oh my god, I want to eat it. Then I need to stop me right now, bring me out of this pattern. Don't eat it. This will destroy everything. It's like breaking the chain. A chain is only as strong as its weakest part. So if I'm really weak and I see this yogurt and I really want and crave it, I stop myself and then I do this thing again to anchor it even deeper into my brain, because then it was not strong enough for me to avoid it on a long-term basis. So this is called not called NLP, because neurolinguistic programming will only will stop by, hey, I did this thing like 10 20 times, I associated really horrible things with this food, but but this is the transformation of NLP. This is NAC, neuro associative neuro neuro associative conditioning. Finally. So this means basically, yeah, we're programming your mind, but it never stops. Mastery never stops. Once it's programmed, you are not likely to fall back. But when you do, it's not my, it's your, you need to have the burden to really not go for it. And can't I can't be there. I'm here on a video. I can't be there with you to coach you like every time. The ultimate coach is yourself, and a leader does is a manager by himself. And what does one of the greatest managers I read said when he about management when it really starts? He said that management don't start when you're there. Your management really starts when you're not there. And those people you're managing, you're leading, still do those things they should be doing. So I want you to consider that once you did this exercise, that you don't stop and say, hey, I just ate it. No, it's your fault to not using it properly. And some of you might say, hey, this is bullshit and this does not make any sense. I know. I first of all thought it also, but then I I realized, what if I try it out and it really improves my life? If I just test it and not, oh yeah, I tested, oh I tried and I didn't do it. No, I really stand behind it and I test it like I really mean it. And when it works, great. When it doesn't work, okay, then search for another approach. You're here, you're listening here to me because you think, okay, this might be an approach, because otherwise you would have turned off this fucking video. So what I want you to consider is basically, this is one of the greatest tools the most influential psychologist nowadays uses on in his seminars, in his one-on-one coachings, and value it as if he would coach you like for real, and one coaching session with him costs over $1 million. So consider this tool as the holy grail of neurolinguistic programming. Thanks.